Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to try and photograph some long-eared owls. They're very difficult to photograph, but one thing I've got to stress to you is you've got the Wildlife and Countryside Act and you must not disturb any chicks. Now, in previous videos I've mentioned about Schedule 1 and that's the protection of birds. Now the Schedule 1 Act doesn't allow you to go near any nests unless you have a license or a permit. Now with the long-eared owls, they aren't actually on the Schedule 1 list, but they are protected by the Wildlife and Countryside Act. So it's quite simple. You do not go into the woods when the parents are feeding. In the summer this is usually early evening, so don't go into the woods at this particular time because you'll put the parent off coming into the woods with the prey to feed the chicks, and that could be devastating. So that's something you've got to adhere to. You must adhere to that. Do not go into the woods at that particular time. Stay outside the woods. You want to photograph the adult hunting, so get yourself in a position where you're well away from the woods and you'll be able to get some shots then.
Those little chicks have got their talons firmly wrapped around that branch and it's been dancing about for a good few hours now.
There are a few ways of finding long-eared owls. I think number one is to search through the woods first and see if you can see any whitewash on the trees where the owls have been roosting. In this particular woods there was plenty on some of the trees, so that was a great indication that we've got long-eared owls. Another way is to look at the base of the tree and see if you can find any pellets. Now all owls regurgitate pellets. That's all the bones and the fur and the feathers that they've been eating, so that is also a great indication. But then you want to find out if you've got chicks in the area, and the only way you can find that out is by listening for their call, because they will call because they get hungry and they'll call the parent to feed them.
One of the parents actually comes down and hunts around here, taking the prey back to the chicks. Well, we've just seen one come out twice, but over in the distance you see that greener, that lighter green. It's been over there, so I've not been able to really get a shot of it, but we're going to hang on and we'll see whether or not we can get a shot if it starts quartering this field.
The long-eared owl is called long-eared owl because it appears to have long ears, but in actual fact they're only feathers, and the problem you have is when they're flying they can look like a short-eared owl because these feathers are actually laid down, so you can't really tell the difference, not from a quick glance, but you can if you look closely at the wingtips, because the wingtips on a long-eared owl have got bars on them, whereas the short-eared owl have got black tips, and that's really the way to tell when they're flying.